Hi everyone, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, The Guiding Voice for a Better Future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals to shape their careers. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. Dear listeners, in this episode we want to cover one of the hottest topics in the world today, and that is artificial intelligence. And we are pleased to welcome Rohit to our show today to discuss artificial intelligence.
Rohit Gupta is a technical trainer who holds a master's degree in informatics from University of Delhi and a bachelor's degree in electronic science from the University of Delhi. He is also a C# Corner MVP, author, speaker.
Rohit is deeply interested in the field of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and Python.
His aim is to make world's first human-like humanoid. Rohit believes in the statement, bonding between machines and humans will make this world a better place. And we are pleased to welcome Rohit to our show today.
Thanks, Naveen and Sudhakar, for inviting me to the podcast. Really excited to be sharing my viewpoints with you all. Hope the Guiding Voice listeners benefit from it.
Rohit, how do you explain artificial intelligence to a fifth grader?
Yeah, so artificial means something that is man-made. That is something that we didn't get from the mother nature. Intelligence means the ability to make decisions on basis of our experience and the ability to learn and improve from our past experiences. For example, like I'm feeling hungry and I have two choices, either to eat the food next to me or to go out, bring the food, cook it and then eat it. So the intelligent decision will be to eat food that is next to me. So by artificial intelligence, we are trying to develop an algorithm that can help a machine to make decisions which are non-harmful for humans and which will help a machine to perform the right action or the intelligent action. For example, we talk about gaming. IBM Bluemix, I think many of you have heard about it, has come up with an algorithm which can beat humans in the game of chess. For all games of chess with 40 moves or fewer, there are roughly 10 to the raised power 43 possible moves. That is a huge number, which is next to impossible for a human to master.
That's quite interesting. I'm really curious how AI is going to take a shape, because you said about 10 power 43 possible moves, which is already available and which is being made by IBM. Quite interesting, and I think there are exciting times ahead for us, Rohit.
What are the advantages of artificial intelligence?
That's the most frequently asked question. There are a lot of examples in using AI. I would like to cover a few. First is reduction in human error. Take an example of calculation. It can calculate faster and more accurately than a human. Can take risks instead of humans, as it can repair itself if destroyed. Robots can be used in simulation where human intervention can be hazardous. Available 24/7 as it does not get tired, unlike humans, us. Helping in repetitive jobs like giving a ticket at a ticket counter, digital assistance, faster decisions. It can take decisions in less time, that is fraction of a second as compared to humans. AI can be used for daily applications like cleaning the house or doing the normal chores of your house. AI can come up with new inventions as we are trying to make smarter AIs.
I think you have covered a lot of advantages when it comes to handing over the mundane activities, repetitive, and something which humans get tired or bored of doing it. Very well put through. Hey, Rohit, what are the domains or businesses that can benefit from AI?
Well, every domain or business can benefit from AI. In today's world, you cannot think of any domain which AI cannot play a role. Be it healthcare, automation, banking, education, insurance, nuclear power plants, scientific research, engineering, and so on and so forth. I never came across a domain where AI cannot be applied.
Wow, so you're saying it can be applied to every domain possible. That's quite a lot. And Rohit, who are the biggest players in the AI market today?
Speaking in terms of countries that lead the AI movement, the first one that come to my mind is China at the number one position, followed by USA, UK, Canada, Russia, Germany, Norway, Sweden, France, and all Indians will be proud to hear that India is among the top 10 and is at the 10th position. Coming to the companies that are pioneering in the AI research, I can name Amazon, Google, Apple, DJI, Facebook, IBM, Microsoft, and Intel. And since India is the 10th, so there are some companies which are really good at AI in the Indian market also. I can name some of them. First is Sigma Data Science, Spec India, and Data One Technologies.
Yeah, that's quite interesting, Rohit. All these days I was under the assumption that only GAFA, Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple, apart from IBM and Microsoft, are doing research. But good to hear about Indian companies like Sigma Data Science, Spec India, also making some progress in the AI space. So that's quite a good news, and thanks for sharing. Hey, Rohit, this brings me to a very interesting question. Having inspired by movies like Robo and Robo 2.0, so wherein the technology has been shown as a positive thing as well as a negative thing at the same time. So do you think AI is an existential threat to humanity? And also, does it impact the job market?
Well, this is a question that I am mostly asked, and I think all people who are in AI are asked. To answer your first question, we have all seen Terminator, Robot, and other movies where machine turned evil and became a threat to human existence. Machine can only be evil if and only if they turn competent with goals misaligned with human. To make it better, let's take an example. In school, we are taught that cutting trees is harmful for environment. So, a machine whose work is to protect the environment can be called evil, as its goal is not aligned with those who are using trees to generate paper and other products. Another reason we fear is that AI may start to control us. We humans control others by using our intelligence, be it tigers or any other animal or even a fellow humans. So now there are two types of people. One who believes that AI will control humans, and others who thinks that AI cannot control humans. Both the type of people are right and wrong at the same time, that is, they are in quantum state. As if AI becomes intelligence, they can control humans, but at what amount or to what extent, that is question. So now coming to your second question, does it impact the job market? To answer your question, let's go back to the birth or the starting of human civilization. In the beginning, we used to live in caves. Then when we made houses, we developed the barter system. This is what we call life 1.0, where we evolved biologically. And then came the time of industrial revolution, which we call life 2.0. During that time, a huge amount of people lost their job. But we humans found out ways to earn a living. People started to work in factories using those machines, because of which they lost their job. Similar is this AI revolution, which we call life 3.0. Some of the people will become jobless, but eventually they will adapt, and hence they will also get new types of job or some jobs that are dependent on the AI tools that has been developed. So now, instead of worrying about losing your job, you should learn to adapt by learning to use these AI systems, so that we are not the ones that are affected by the AI revolution.
I think it makes sense. You touched upon some very valid points in terms of how life has evolved, and due to this industrial revolution or due to technology advances, though jobs have impacted, but newer jobs have come. So similarly, due to AI advancement, you are saying new type of jobs will come. So which is very good.
Rohit, if someone wants to choose artificial intelligence as their career path, what is the best way to learn for a beginner?
One should start learning mathematics and the basic of calculus and a lot of stats. Frankly, during my school time, I never liked stats. Yes, but now I have to work with that as well. And the next step is to choose either Python or R to start programming. I use Python because it is very easy to use and also it has a wide range of libraries that can be used for almost all tasks. Before starting with programming, one need to understand the theory. So you should start with concepts like basic of machine learning, data science, feature engineering, and once the basic of those are, you are all set for learning some of the basic machine learning algorithms like linear regression, logistic regression, naive Bayes, decision tree, support vector machine, and there are a lot of algorithms as well. The best way to start with AI is to start with online course on Coursera platform. Just search for Andrew NG course. This is a really amazing course, and the good thing is that course is available for free. The only drawback is that he had coded in MATLAB, but you will find Python implementation of those on GitHub. To learn all this, there are various free courses available like NPTEL. I have also created a series of articles on machine learning. You can go to C# Corner and search for Rohit Gupta's articles and you will get the list of articles. If you wish, you can learn from those. To improve on yourself, I will recommend you to go to Kaggle.com and try to see how various data science problems and are approached and are also solved will really help, and then try to solve it. Coming to the social media, Machine Learning India, which is a great community. You can find them on Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, and they post really good content. And also they have collaborated with Microsoft to offer you a free Microsoft course on Python. And then my last advice would be try to connect with as many professionals as you can connect.
I think there are a lot of forums that are available where somebody can explore AI and machine learning related courses. So one you mentioned about Coursera platform on which Andrew NG course is available. You also asked the listeners to tune into the social media platform and just search for Machine Learning India. And third one is Kaggle.com. And fourth is just to follow your articles. Great. Those are all very insightful. Thanks for sharing them, Rohit. Rohit, what is one thing that startup founders in the AI space from India can learn from other countries?
So one thing that Indian founders should learn is selecting the right problem to solve and then choosing the right machine learning approach to solve the chosen problem. The biggest problem that I find in startups is that in order to survive the market, they lose their main motive and hence they are not able to deliver the right. One thing I noticed when I was listening to a podcast that 80% of the companies don't know why they want to use AI. They are integrating it because some big giants like Amazon and Google are using AI. And since there is a lot of buzz about AI, some companies use it as a marketing strategy. A true startup is which charges you for using their AI stuff. Netflix cannot be called an AI because we don't pay for using their AI stuff. That is the recommendation system. Instead, we pay for seeing the movies.
All right, interesting. Rohit, are there any prerequisites to study artificial intelligence?
So the most important prerequisite is the willingness to learn. You should have the zeal to learn because if we are really passionate about something, we just need to take the first step and commit ourselves. One thing that separates AI from other fields is that you don't have an academic eligibility criteria to join a AI company. Other than that, you have done prior work on building some application. There are people who have college dropout and are working in the domain and they are really successful in that.
So all you are trying to convey here is somebody should be passionate about learning it and they don't need any background qualification as such. Quite interesting.
Rohit, we always hear this artificial intelligence and machine learning interchangeably. What is the main difference between them?
So AI and ML is one thing that most people are confused about. Everyone needs to understand that ML is a subset of AI. I mean, ML comes under umbrella of AI. In AI, the aim is to increase the chance of success and not accuracy. Whereas in ML, the aim is to increase accuracy, but it does not care about the success. AI works like a computer program that does smart work, whereas ML is simple concept machine that takes data and learns from the data. In AI, the goal is to stimulate natural intelligence to solve a complex problem, whereas in ML, the goal is to learn from data on certain tasks to maximize the performance of the machine on that particular task. AI is all about decision making, whereas ML allows a system to learn new things from data. AI leads to developing a system to mimic humans to respond and behave in circumstances, whereas ML involves creating self-learning algorithm. AI will go for finding the optimal or the best solution that is available for that problem, whereas ML will go for the only solution, whether it be optimal or not. So ML does not care about if the solution that has come up is the best or not. And the last is AI leads to intelligence or wisdom, and ML leads to knowledge.
That's wonderful put through. AI leads to intelligence or wisdom, whereas ML leads to knowledge. Now, talking about the roles specific to AI.
What kind of roles do we have in artificial intelligence and how do they evolve?
So I could think of 5 major roles that are there in the AI pipeline. First is the machine learning engineer, one who is responsible for developing the models that are used in the forecasting and other tasks. Next is the data scientist. Most of the companies are hiring for this position. You can search on Google and you will find the data science jobs all around the web. The role of a data scientist is to clean the data and provide it to the machine learning engineer so that he can develop a model out of it. Next is the business intelligence developer. This role has really been popular during last few years. This has bloomed because of the coming of Power BI and tools like Tableau. So they are literally so powerful tools that you get the max out of our data. The best insight of our data is provided by a business intelligence developer. Next is the research science. For this you need a PhD degree because it involves coming up with new kinds of algorithms. Like you have to improve on the current algorithms to come up with the optimal solution of that. And last, you can say that at the manager level role, we have the big data engineer or the architect, whose role is to manage the whole AI pipeline. You can say we have to manage machine learning engineer, data scientist, business intelligence developer, and research science. There are other roles as well. You can just go to KD Nuggets. It's KDNUGGETS, kdnuggets.com to find out more about that. And there you can find the corresponding job descriptions as well, so that you get a better idea about the jobs.
I think those are quite a lot roles, and you have something from beginner to the manager level. This is very insightful again, Rohit. Now, coming to the last question of the conversation.
Rohit, in your view, what is the future of artificial intelligence?
So the future of AI is really bright. If all goes well, you can assume that people working in the AI domain will be millionaires and will be considered above all. They may be treated like rock stars or a celebrity, like they are walking and people are coming to take an autograph and kind of a thing. So I said if all goes well, because we cannot be 100% sure that in the near future, Life 4.0 will not replace Life 3.0. That is, AI revolution will not be replaced with something.
This Again, sounds interesting and very exciting to imagine what's coming up in this space in near future. So overall, I think this was a great discussion, Rohit. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rohit, for your time. It was indeed a great conversation to go over the various aspects of artificial intelligence.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be on the guiding voice. Best wishes for your future podcast.
Dear listeners, to know more about our speakers and the content, visit or follow us on social media or feel free to email us and we will be happy to share further details with you. Alright, so it brings us to the trivia segment of this episode, and today's trivia is about language. Do you know 4 times more people speak English as a second language than as a native one? So English is the most widely spoken tongue in the world, with nearly 2 billion people learning it as a second language and only 350 million people speaking it natively. Interesting, isn't it? If you'd like to share any trivias, please feel free to share them through email, and our email address is theguidingvoice4you@gmail.com, or SMS us or text us at India number 9494587187. We will not only share best trivias in future episodes, we will also announce your names. Again, we are open for suggestions on topics that you would like to hear from us through our email address. Our email address is theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com. You may also WhatsApp us on our India number 9494587187. Like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/theguidingvoice4u, or follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/guidingvoice. To stay tuned about our future episodes. We are also available on Instagram as The Guiding Voice for You. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/theguidingvoice. There is more in store. Until next time, have a wonderful time. Thank you for listening. Take care and be safe.